Okay, so communication. What's wrong with everybody here? How did you feel about that? How did you feel about that? Like, what was the first thing that came to your mind when you just heard me say that? Can I just say, let me hear your reactions in the comment section.
What's going on here?
Okay, why is she screaming at her? What
Why is
else?
this
What
screaming?
else?
Yeah.
Okay, my husband just came in to see what was happening. So that I sure, okay, are you all right? So we're talking about effective communication.
Like the person is annoyed. You can
Is
see
it
her.
like the first okay, yeah. So we're talking about communication. You can see I didn't say anything or I didn't insult anybody. I just said something and there are different reactions. Like, Ogini, what is it? Are you okay? And everybody has different interpretations for that, right? So that's the thing about communication. You can be saying, I can be saying something else, and you are hearing something else. And communication has not taken place until we understand each other. There's this presupposition that says that the meaning of your communication is the response that you get. Okay? All right. When you said the sound is breaking, can everyone hear me? Please, can you hear me? Let me know if I need to change my internet.
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
loud and clear.
All right. So let me just start by saying my name is Christine Daniel. I am a certified coach, an NLP and EFT practitioner. I'm an integrative life coach. So I'm a coach and a therapist. I'm a French teacher. I am an author and I am a mentee. I'm part of the Legacy Mastermind. Coach Ogo is my mentor. Yeah, she inspired me to write all the books that I've written. So I feel really privileged and honored to be here. So I'm passionate about helping young people and women build a healthy self-esteem so that they can live authentic lives. So if you see me online, you always hear me talk about confidence. You always hear me talk about self-esteem because I understand that that's one thing that can hold you and keep you stuck. So today we're talking about effective communication. And just by that scream, I know that there's been plenty, what we call it, plenty reactions from all of us. And that's how the way you communicate evokes different reactions from different people. So the first time I heard about this, like I couldn't accept that. Like, why is it that it's my responsibility if somebody else does not understand? Because it's like if someone does not understand you, it means you have not communicated. So the problem is not the person, the problem is you. Now that means that everyone has different ways that they understand. And we all have different ways to communicate. So we're talking about effective communication in relationship. And just like Coach August said, when you get communication right, it doesn't matter the relationship in your marriage, in your work, in parenting, in every aspect, communication is key. I don't know if you have teenagers or preteens. If you're a parent and you have teenagers or preteens, you will agree with me that this communication is a big deal because you're saying your own and they're like, what's that one saying? There is a whole attitude, there is a whole lot that is going on in that. So effective communication is very, very important. And when we talk about effective communication, we're talking about active listening, we're talking about conflict resolution, we're talking about healthy communication. All right, please, Coach Victor, if you're around there, can you just help me share my screen? I think it's going to be easier for me. Yes, please, if you can. All right. So effective communication. For those of us that are married, have you ever, please, I would like to hear in the comment section, let's really make this interactive. Have you ever said something to your spouse and they took it to a whole other level? And you're like, but that's not what I meant. Have you had that experience? Or even if it's not your spouse, to someone else, like you, in your mind, you were saying something else and they were understanding something else. If you've had that experience, I'd like you to just say yes in the comment section. And it wouldn't be, if it's something you can even share briefly in the comment section, go ahead and share. Okay. Yes, all right. Then I said yes. Okay, please help me make Coach Victor host so he can help me share my slides. Yeah, so Coach Chasey said yes, very well. Yeah, let me hear. Okay, good. So is it only 3 people that we have here? Let's make this class interactive. I want to know, have you ever said something else and the person misunderstood? Yes, in my place of work, good. All right. I've had that experience. I have that with my children a lot, like a lot. Yes. Good. So this happens to all of us. Sometimes in your mind, you are saying something else. Like for you, Zeph, you are very clear. You are very, very clear. In your mind, and the person just gets it totally on the wrong direction. And you're wondering, what did I do wrong? So effective communication is the foundation of any successful relationship. All right, so today we're going to explore the essential skills to improve your relationship and build strong communication. Now, have you had friends that when you talk, you feel like these people connect, they get me? Like you, before it's you get me, like you are connecting with them. People are talking and you are getting each other. Have you had such experience? If you've had that experience, let me hear in the comment section. Just tell me yes or give me a thumbs up. Like there's somebody that you just talk and you feel like this person understands me. Meanwhile, there are people that you just feel like, I can't even talk to this person. Like, you don't even get me. Everything I'm saying, they are not understanding. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that with me. Okay, good, good. Thank you, Coach Nene. Thank you. All right, so importance of effective communication. Why is communication very important? Why does communication matter? Now, communication builds trust and intimacy. For those who are in a relationship, you know, when you start a relationship, it used to be like there is one key that is opened, right? That when you are talking to your spouse, you guys, you finish each other's statement, there is this understanding you have. You're like, the guy just gets me. The babe just gets me. Like, oh my God, I just feel like I can be myself around you. Oh my God, I don't know if you've had that feeling, right? You just feel like you can talk. I don't know if you guys did that time that they used to do MTN night calls. Did any of you used to stay awake to talk to anybody like all through the night? Say the truth, confess. Just say I in the comment section. If you used to do night call, midnight call, that time that you be gist and gist and gist till daybreak, MTN free calls. Did you have that experience? Please, I hope it's not very serious people that are in this class. Me, I used to like people to be talking and gisting with me when I'm talking. I don't know why we are so quiet. Let me see your reaction. Did you do MTN free calls? See, okay. Okay, I can see yes. So I say, no, I love my sleep because okay, good. So how many of us were part of those people who did those calls? So effective communication is important because it builds trust and intimacy. It resolves conflicts and misunderstandings. Yes, it fosters emotional connection and understanding. You know, before you get married, there's this understanding. I understand you. We're not fighting. It's like whatever you say, I get you. There is a connection. And that's what communication brings. Communication brings connection. Now, communication is more than just exchanging words. It's not just about talking. There's no communication. If I talk and you don't understand me, there's no communication. We've not communicated. We're not on the same page. It's about connection. It's about clarity. It's about influence. It's your ability to communicate effectively. And when you are able to communicate effectively, you're able to, you can be much more successful. I don't know if you've had this experience that somebody comes to tell you, do something. And the way the person says it, like you sat down where you are sitting. Another person comes and tells you to do that same thing. And you don't even struggle with yourself or anything. You just stand up and you do it. And we also have these experiences when we talk to our children. There's some that you're like, you're shouting, and they will not even answer you. you go and carry cane. And meanwhile, there's a way you will just say it. You've not even said it twice, and the person just goes ahead to do it. So you can see that effective communication prevents miscommunication. And when you communicate wrongly, you can hurt people's feelings. Effective communication strengthens relationship and promotes growth, right? So let's go to the next slide. I would like to talk about now the very component of effective communication. Now, there's a study by Harvard. Let me read what Harvard Business Review. Can you hear me? Okay. That found out that only 25% of people listen with the intent to understand, while 75% listen just to reply. So I'd like to ask you, and I would like your response in the comment section. Do you listen to understand? Okay? Or do you listen to reply? Which one? Do you listen? Please, can we all mute? Do you listen to understand, or do you listen just to reply?
I think for me, that's one of the things I took from this book, you know, when he was talking about we most times listening to reply and not listening to actually understand what the person is saying. So it was one big take home for me. So I will have to be conscious of that now. Because when the person is talking in your mind, you're already preparing what you will say.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you very much, Coach Tessie. And you know, we do it a lot, even with our children. Okay. Okay. When I said I listen to understand, beautiful. It depends on the conversation. Okay. So it depends on the conversation. All right. So which one is it for you, really? Did you listen to respond, or you listen to understand? Okay, the potential depends on the person talking. All right, you see, different things are coming up, right? So giving your full attention to the speaker, understanding their perspective, and responding thoughtfully. You know, in school, we're taught to speak, we're taught to write. Nobody really teaches you to listen. Nobody teaches you to listen. And a research says that it's only 8% of communication. Only 8% of communication is through words. So your words, all those Hausa call it chachambaki, all those that you are doing is 8% in your communication. 38% is your tone of voice, and 55% is your body language. So it's just like, I won't tell you I love you, and I scream, I love you. Or I say, I love you. Or I say, I love you. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm communicating different things. So you can imagine that the most important part of your communication is not your words. Your tone, your body language is very important. And that makes active listening one of the most important components when it comes to communication. When you're talking with your children, with your spouse, in your workplace, when people are speaking to you, sometimes people are saying something different and they mean something different. And you will know that when you listen attentively, when you maintain eye contact, when you are fully present, when you're fully present, and when you can repeat what they say, when you ask them, okay, is this what you mean? Yes. They know that, okay, you're with me. It's not like someone is talking to you. Maybe your spouse is talking to you. You're busy pressing phone. Yes. And next you say, you're not even hearing. But I'm listening to you now. You find out that sometimes there is a breach. It's either the person is turns off, or the person just decides, oh, you don't even want to listen to me. So active listening is very important in communication. You cannot say you have communicated when you did not listen. Because sometimes people are looking at you, they are telling you something, they are hoping that you read their eye contact and understand that, okay, I'm in distress. This is really not what I mean, but I'm saying it because I'm not in a safe place to say it. And that's the same thing with our children. Sometimes they come to you, they are telling you something and they mean something else. Let me take an instance, right? My daughter came to me the other day and she was trying to tell me some things that was happening to her in school. You know, how she doesn't have much friends. She was just saying a whole lot of things. And I knew something was wrong somewhere because I know the kind of person she was. By the time she finished saying all those things, she now started talking about all the people that has gone in her life, you know, that have left her, that she had a relationship with. Then she now burst into tears. And that one of her favorite teachers was leaving. I now smiled. I said, so all this, your friend did this one did this one is not the problem. The truth is that you're missing this teacher that is about to leave. And she said, yes. Now, it took us like 1 hour of crying because I had to let her cry. You know, you can't believe all the things she just started saying, those that left, the things that her friends that are jackpot, you know, a lot of things just because of one thing. So if I was not in the mood to listen that day, and she started with, my friends did this one and that, in my head, I was like, well, see, I want to walk, or I'll just be absent-minded, and I will end up not realizing the message she was trying to pass.
Happy Saturday, happy weekend, happy new month. Oh.
All right, please, Samsung tab. Okay, Mary, no, it's not Mary. Please, can you mute? Okay, let's go to the next slide. So 93% of communication is non-verbal, according to Dr. Mehabian, right? 93% of communication is non-verbal. People form first impressions in just 7 seconds, and 55% of that impression is based on body language. Now, you see that when we're talking about communication, the first thing that comes to your mind is communication is talking. But now we've understood that talking in communication is only 8%. That's the smallest part of communication. You have verbal cues, non-verbal cues. Somebody wants to talk to you. Your hand is like this. Your husband or your child, you are trying to, I don't know if you notice teenagers and preteens, you want to talk to them, their hands are like this, and you find out that no matter what you say, they're not hearing you. Their hands are crossed, their legs are crossed. That's a closed position. It just tells you, I'm not ready to hear you. Anything you are saying, you're on your own. Body language is very important. So what are you saying with your body? What are you saying with your tone? You know, sometimes, right?
Out of this room now.
Sometimes at work, right?
Chika,
please, can you mute? Okay, so sometimes at work, your boss tells you to do certain things. Depending on the kind of bosses you have, there are certain bosses that will overwork you, and you will overwork with happiness. You will not even know that you are overworking, maybe because of the way they communicate, because of the way they show empathy, because of the way they deal with you. And there are certain people that they're not even stressing you so much, but just the attitude or the way they communicate your tasks to you is a turnoff. So everyone has their different communication styles, right? But even in these different communication styles, your verbal and non-verbal cues are very important. Your tone is very important. And what you say is very important. All right. So some effective verbal communication skills is using I statements instead of you. Coach Tessie, please mute.
People did not give this girl.
Coach Tessie, please mute. So use I statements instead of you. Be clear, concise, and specific when you want to say something. Now, this clear, concise, and specific, married people in the house, I'm sure that a lot of us, especially women, I don't know about men, I'm guilty to an extent. So yeah, that instead of you to be clear and specific with what you want with your spouse, there's this, You just assume he's supposed to know. Hey, but you're supposed to. You are supposed to. You didn't communicate it. You didn't say it. But you just feel like, but you're supposed to know now. Shebi, you know. Shebi, you know. And your husband is looking at you. Shebi, I know what. Did you tell me to do anything? But you're supposed to know now. Be clear. Be clear about what you want. Be clear about how you want to be treated. Be clear about how you want to be loved. Be clear about what exactly you want. And sometimes we also make that mistake with our children. When we want to teach them something, in fact, we don't even take time to teach them. When they make mistake, it's either you are beating them, you are saying a lot of things, but you've not called them to say, okay, did you even know that this thing you did was wrong? There are a lot of children that you've beaten and insulted that they had no clue what they did wrong. They were just looking. They did not know. They were punished, but they didn't even understand what they did that was wrong, because in their mind, they didn't do anything. And you didn't call them to say, this is it, this is it. You didn't communicate that this thing you did was wrong. Next time, do it this way so that they will learn. Okay? So when you are communicating, avoid blaming, avoid criticizing, avoid judging. Avoid judging. Oftentimes, these things are in our subconscious. You don't even know when you do them. You just, you know, you are so judgmental with your spouse. I know now, is it not you again? I know that you will not do it. Before, uncle, you will not do it. You are very unromantic. You will not even remember that today is Valentine's to even buy me a gift. I beg. And for you, you have communicated. So you did not even know that today is my birthday, Abby. Say, I know you. You never ever remember my birthday. That's how you are. Since we got married, you don't remember. How? And in your mind, you are communicating. And the person you're telling is looking, I don't even remember birthdays on a normal day. So the way you communicate determines the response that you get. So if somebody is misunderstanding you, go back to the drawing board. Ask yourself, what am I not doing right? How am I communicating that is making this person understand me this way? Because the meaning of your communication is the response you get. You need to take that responsibility. We need to take that responsibility. That if I say something to you, you don't understand, it means that I didn't speak your language. I didn't communicate. So it's not that you did not understand, it's that I did not communicate. Okay? So use positive language, use positive tone. Use positive tone. Our upbringing, our society, especially those of us who live in Lagos, like, I don't know, there is this normalcy. We pride ourselves in, Abiwere. You understand? I don't know if you're a Lagosian. Lagosians pride themselves with telling themselves that they are not normal. And they are so proud of it. And that is an abnormality. So when you want to communicate how you feel, I feel hurt when you don't include me. I feel hurt when you don't remember my birthday. Oh, you know that this birthday is really important to me. Honey, please, next time, remember my birthday. Oh, my birthday is in 3 days' time. Oh, honey, you know I would like a gift. But don't leave it like, some of us, we set trap with that. Just wait. I know what I'll do to you. I'll revenge. You know, even with your children, it's important that we learn how to communicate. And everybody has the way that they understand things. You know, we all have different representational systems and different ways that, you know, we understand communication. There are people who are visual, that when you need to talk to them, you need to, you know, put your words in visual ways for them to be able to understand what you're saying. Some people are feelers. You have to have words and make them feel what you're saying so that they understand you. Some people are auditory people, and some people are, you have to make logical sense before they can understand you. So we all, in communication, you need to have that open mind and understand that everybody is different. So there is not just one way to communicate. And also be patient with people, and also be patient with yourself, because oftentimes we're not patient when it comes to communication. And most times your body language just gives it. But you know, it's like when you're tired and you're talking to somebody, you find out that if somebody is not in the mood and you're talking to them, they will know. There's this body language. You're not saying don't talk, but there's this body language that is okay, that is giving the vibe that please talk quick, I want to go. Be fast, I want to go. It shows in your body language. And when you're fully interested, it also shows in body language. Let's go to the next slide, please. So non-verbal communication skills, your body language, your posture. It's just like I said, the closed position. Someone's hand is like this, they will not listen to you. They will not listen to you. It's a closed position. It's just like, they will not listen to you. Eye contact, touch, tone of voice, proximity. These are non-verbal communication skills. And you have to understand whoever you're communicating with and see what works for them. But you know, you can never get it wrong with active listening. When someone is talking and you are listening in full, there's this peace that it gives the person. The person feels like, I'm heard. Some people just want to talk. They just want you to listen. But sometimes we're so intelligent, you're too intelligent, too smart that you want to talk. They've not finished talking. You have started dishing all the advice. You have started saying all the things. Hello. Just listen. I had a coaching session with a child, a teenager. And when we talked and talked and talked, one of the things he said is that nobody understands me. So after this session, obviously coaching comes with active listening. After this session, I said, okay, what's one thing that stood out for you in this session? And that's something he said. He said, you listened to me. You did not judge me. You did not tell me this is how I'm supposed to do it or how I'm supposed to do it. I felt like you understood me. I didn't do anything. I just let him tell me his mind and see. And I was non-judgmental. I didn't tell him, this thing you did was wrong. You're not supposed to. And parents, come closer. We are always guilty of this. We are advisors of the universe, especially with our teens and preteens. Every minute we are advising and advising. But sometimes you need to listen. You need to just keep calm and hear. And don't judge. Don't make any comments. Just calm down and look for a teachable moment when you'll be able to communicate that thing. So people shut down when you are not communicating with them. Let's go to the next slide. Good. So conflict resolution, resolving conflicts effectively. All right. One of the ways to resolve conflict is stay calm and composed. When you're having, okay, let me take, for instance, if I have issues with my husband and maybe his voice is loud and he's saying anything, I just keep quiet. I just keep quiet and I let him vent and vent. When he's done venting, he come and apologize. And now he's not shouting and I'm giving him back at the same time. You know, some of us are like, I don't take rubbish. I don't take rubbish. And you know that sometimes some places that you go to, most people, it's not you, you're not their problem. It's possible they had a bad day. There was something that happened. And unfortunately, you are the person that just came in and they lash out on you. But if you stay calm and composed and you don't give them back that energy, they call themselves back to order. But when you give them back the same energy, you find out that you have a heated argument. You will not come to any understanding. So when it comes to conflict resolution in communication, excuse me, the first thing is to stay calm and composed. Identify the issue, not the person. Oftentimes when there are challenges, we don't deal with that problem. It's the person. And that's how you used to do. Every time, that's the way you do. You are always like this. You are always like this. You're not treating the issue, but you are calling on the person. You're calling out the person. So it's important that you separate the person from whatever it is, from the action, so that you can resolve conflict. And really, when it comes to conflict resolution, communication is key. Communication is key. Do you know that oftentimes, right, in marriage, we're saying the same thing, but we're just saying it in different ways. It's just that nobody's listening. I'll just take this normal example, right? When you have number 6, right, you know that if you're standing at the other side, it will look like number 9. And if you're standing towards this side, it will look like number 6. So you're seeing 9, I am seeing 6, and we're shouting, and you're seeing no. Meanwhile, we're seeing things from different positions. If only one person comes down to say, okay, let me come towards that your side, let me understand what you are seeing. You understand that, oh, this person is actually seeing 6. This person is actually seeing 9. So it's important that we calm down when we want to resolve conflicts. Use I statements. Listen actively. Seek common grounds. Find a mutual beneficial solution. Some of us like fights more than anything. If you have not fight, you are not okay. And sometimes just a little sorry can solve that issue. Sometimes you've not said any word, especially with the women. I don't know, some guys do it. You've not said any word, but the eye that you have used to look, the body language that you have put off, have said everything. And it sets the other person on fire, and the other person is like, hey. Let's go to the next slide. So let's look at some healthy communication habits, nurturing healthy communication. Schedule regular check-in. How many of us do these regular check-ins with your family, maybe with your children? Do you ever ask your children what they think about you and the way you act? Please, I want us to see, let me know in the comment section. Do you do this regular check-in with your spouse, with your children? Do you do it? Have you ever just asked your children what they think about your communication style or the way you address them? Has any of us done that? Okay. Chika says no. Yes. Who else? Who else? If you ask your children about you, okay, no, yes, I have. Okay, Radiant, she said she has. Good. And what's usually the experience like? Radiant teaches, you can share. Okay, Esther, what's the experience like? Can you just share in the comment section? What response do you get? Because sometimes you don't even know how we communicate. My last born can mimic. So from time to time, he will mimic how everybody in the house acts. He will tell you, this is what mama will do. This is what grandma will do. This is what will happen. Buzz goes. Okay. Buzz goes. Okay, I get that. Okay. So I think it's something we need to do because your children will always tell you the truth if you let them tell you the truth. So there was a day my son had he changed to a new school, and so he was finding it difficult to cope that first term. So one of the days he said I think they gave him some tasks and he couldn't finish it. He said that his teacher was shouting, this one was shouting. Then I said that they were going to call his mother, they will call his mother. And you know what he told me? He said, I was even happy when they said they will call you because I know that you are a coach. You will not even shout. That's the way he said it because he can really be funny. And I laughed. Okay, my son actually told me that I overreact and exaggerate in my speaking. These children for you, they will tell you that. Exactly. Yes. And somebody say, why are you shouting? Why are you shouting? And sometimes that thing can trigger us. Like when your child tell your mama you're shouting, and you're like, I'm telling you to go and do this thing. I've said it how many times? And you're saying I'm shouting. So from time to time, it's important that we check with our children. And sometimes because it helps you understand how you're communicating and how they're perceiving your communication. When you communicate with your spouse and your children, you see the things that you are doing wrong. And it's easy for you guys to, help your communication, because the thing that causes trouble everywhere, both with our children at work, is the way we communicate. I have 3 children. The way they communicate is totally different. My boys will always be, I don't know how to put it right now, but with their sister she's the big sister, and she can be strict and autocratic. And for them, the boys, they don't like having it. It's like, why do you want to, we're children like you. You're not mama. That's always, they feel like she talks like she's their mother. Meanwhile, my last born is another person that knows how to get the things that he wants. If you want something, he has a way of communicating it that you will find it difficult to say no. So when it comes to healthy communication habits, most of the response you get is your communication. There are things that someone else would have come and asked you and you say no. Another person comes because of the way they asked. You will not even know when you say yes to it. So practice empathy and understanding. Practice empathy and understanding. Show appreciation and gratitude. Address conflicts. Don't pile them up. When something happens, say, this is it. I don't like this. Sit on the table, talk about it and let it go. Some of us know how to pile things up. And it's not good for you that is piling it up because your health is at stake. Learn to deal with issues and let them go. Celebrate milestones and special occasions. Talk about how you want to be celebrated when it comes to your birthdays or anything that you are doing. Yes, talk about how you want to be celebrated. Let the person that you're with understand you, whether it's your friend, whether it's your, let them understand what you really want. Don't make assumptions. Don't assume that, yeah, they understand this, but you know that this is the way I am. No, they don't know. You need to tell, this is what I want. This is the way I like to celebrate my birthday. This is what I appreciate. Imagine, okay, let me assume that if I'm having birthday and you go and do banana for me, as much as I love music, it's going to be a turn off for me because it's not something I like. But if I don't communicate it and with your mind, you go and do it, hoping that you've done something so much, and what the hell is this? You know that you're going to be hurt, right? I once heard a story of a lady who her husband bought her a brand new car for her birthday ceremony, like an expensive car. She said she was so angry and like, what's that? Why are you in this car? Please go and return it. And all her friends, you know, the thing made her husband so angry. And her friends were like, you are so ungrateful. So would they bought you this kind of car and you did not appreciate it? But her love language was not gift. Her love language was act of service. What she wanted was her husband to be there with her, to help her out because she's busy. She's always doing something. So for her, that gift, the husband had in his heart, he had done the highest. But it was quite, because there was no communication, right? He wasn't able to speak her language. And at the end, she wasn't impressed with that kind of expensive gift. So nurturing healthy communication, yes, schedule regular check-ins, whether it's at work, whether it's at home with your spouse, go ahead and do that. Address conflicts and celebrate your milestones. Let's go to the next slide. Please let me know how many minutes I have left. Overcoming barriers, overcoming communication barriers, common barriers, defensiveness, assumptions, distractions, emotional baggage, different communication styles. So let me start from defensiveness. Maybe your child or someone younger than you, or a student, for those who are teachers, comes and tells you, you did this, or something happened and you were wrong. Instead of you to calm down and see if you were wrong to correct yourself, you just defend yourself and make the person look. And when you now go back, you find out that was actually wrong. So there are things you do and your children just tell you. Instead of you to take it, you feel challenged, right? And you feel the need to defend yourself. Sometimes you assume, this is how it's supposed to be. Ask questions. Ask questions. When you're not in the present, right, and you're not listening actively, you'll be distracted. Then someone is saying something, you understand, and that person, I'm hearing you. And when it's time for you to repeat what that person says, you're saying something else. Then emotional baggages. Sometimes you've gone through heartbreak, you've had some bad experiences, and you are communicating from your pain. Someone else has good heart for you and you're self-sabotaging because of the emotional baggage that you're carrying. A lot of people have broken their relationships because of this. You know, from the hurt of another relationship, they are now punishing a new person for that relationship that went wrong. Meanwhile, this person is a good person. Some people have, because of the stories that go on online, mother-in-laws are this, these people are this, you have prejudice. So you meet people, you don't even give them benefit of doubt, right? You just assume and you start treating them from that assumption. And also we have different communication styles. Like I talked about, we have the visuals, we have the kinesthetic, we have audio visuals, and we have the auditory people. You need to understand your own mode of communication or the person that you are talking. There are people who, when they are talking, they say, I hear you, I hear you. Some people will tell you, I see, I see. Some people will tell you, I feel you, I feel you. Some will tell you, I understand. Oriewa, you know, your head is correct. You are getting it. All these things show you different cues of how people communicate. Logical people want to make sense of what you are saying. People that are visual, they want to see the picture. Yes, that green house, that green car, that they want to, that's when they will understand what you are saying. Those that are auditory, they want to hear. Those that are feelers, those that are kinesthetic, they want to feel what you're saying. They want emotions involved in what you're saying. So it's important to pay attention to people's different communication styles. Then strategies of communication, recognize and acknowledge barriers. Use I. Let it don't just be you. Okay, I feel that you didn't really understand me. Can we, can we discuss this later? Can I explain what I really meant by this? I didn't mean to upset you. That's not what I meant to. This is what I actually meant to pass on to you. Practice active listening. Listen to people's body language. Listen to everything that they are saying. Listen to their tone. When someone is angry, even if it's not with you, you will hear it in their tone. Some people have a natural harsh tone. Some people have a soft tone. Some people they are soft spoken. Some people are just there. Anyhow, they can go high, they can go low. So practice active listening. There is no communication without listening. Seek clarification. If you don't understand, ask question. Is this what you meant? Okay, is this what you meant? Okay, is this what you really mean? Even with your children, with your spouse, when they say, I don't like this, try and understand what exactly is the problem. Is this? Okay, what exactly did I do wrong? Find a way to understand and speak to whoever. One thing I've realized there, let's go to the next slide. You know, everybody has their key. The only thing is that we're not patient. Everybody has their key. Everybody has a particular way that when you speak to them, they will hear you. But the question is, are you patient enough? Are you patient enough to speak to this person? Are you patient? Okay. All right. So putting into practice, applying effective communication skills, action step, practice active listening with a friend or family, practice it with your children. Practice when they are talking, just keep quiet. That need to shalaye, that need to say, I got to say, that's how it happened. That's how it happened. Let's leave that need. Okay. Just listen. Listen. Use I statements in your next conversation. Schedule a regular check-in with your partner, whether it's at work, whether it's your colleague, whether it's your children. Have regular check-in, Yes, have regular check-in and be open. Learn and unlearn and relearn. Reflect on your communication style and identify areas for improvement. Let's go to the next. So in conclusion, effective communication is the key to strong relationship. Check anybody you have a good relationship with. It's because of the way you communicate. The person gets you and you get them. They speak your language, you understand. That's why you have a good relationship. And when you are not communicating with people, when they are not understanding, that's when you don't have a good relationship. By practicing active listening, conflict resolution, and healthy communication skills, you can build stronger, more meaningful relationships. Okay, so call to action, start improving your communication skills today and nurture the relationship that matters most. When a relationship is important to you, pay attention to the communication. So if you master the art of active listening, confidence communication, and body language, you will build strong relationship and you will influence people effortlessly. You will lead with confidence and you will unlock new careers, and new opportunities. A lot of people want to be heard. They want to be understood. And the only way we can achieve that is when we listen actively, when we listen to understand, right? And when we listen to understand, not listening to answer back or listening to condemn or to judge. Active listening helps us have better and stronger relationship. Okay, so thank you very much. I'd like to take questions. Let's go to the, okay, yeah, so do we have any questions? Any questions? Thank you very much for listening. Coach Oga, can I yield the mic to you at this point? All right, so if you have question, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Coach Christian, thank you so much for that powerful presentation. God bless you. I've learned a lot. I want to ask a question. Okay, so the question is, I have this friend of mine who, at the early stage of my marriage, we used to be friends. And then all of a sudden, I start noticing some misunderstanding. We start having misunderstanding. I think that's the right word. And it seems like every attempt to resolve that conflict and misunderstanding, anytime I try to maybe call her or, for us to get into this conversation, we end up not concluding anything. And you get, so at a point I had to just give it a break. So my question is, can it actually come to that point where you are trying to communicate and someone is not getting? Because honestly, she's still my friend, but the gap there, the communication gap there is so wide. We don't usually talk. We don't.
Okay, Coach Esther, are you still there? Coach Esther, are you there? Okay, I lost you for a bit. You said you guys still talk, but you don't communicate. Your line is breaking. It's breaking. I'm not hearing you. But let me be sure of what you said for the question. Is it that, okay, is it possible that it gets to an extent where you don't understand each other? Like, you are not communicating. Okay. So I can hear you now.
All right. So I said we still talk, even till I think 2 days ago, we talked, and even something happened that we 2 days ago. Okay, so I chatted her up and was like, "Send me your." So I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm not supposed to say this, but it's just for reference purposes. So I sent her like, "Okay, so I love what you are doing. Can I just gift you?" She was like, "No, that she doesn't actually need it." I was like, okay. So later on, I had to send a recharge card for her. And then she was like, that she's going to return it back. I was like, what is all this? You get, so I have to start telling her that when we are doing something and we are praying for a blessing or something, we should also prepare our mind for it. And I've tried this over a period of time, and each time, she's kind of that person that loves taking care of people. She wants to get involved, but she's not actually given that opportunity to be taken care of, for someone to extend their hands or fellowship or something. And each time I try to mention that, she will become kind of so defensive about it. And even to 2 days ago, we still have that misunderstanding. So I'm just asking a question, like, when you see yourself in such a situation where you are trying to communicate, you are trying to maybe resolve a conflict and the other person is just not getting it. At that point, what are you supposed to do at that point?
Okay. So you're trying to resolve a conflict and the other person excuse me, is not getting it. What are you supposed to do at that point? There's also a question here that says, what if you have a spouse that doesn't want to communicate? He sees what you say as disturbance. Let me take your question first, Esther. Now, the thing is that you know that people do what they can with the knowledge they have per time. I noticed that when it comes to communication, there are times that if you people are not on the same level, maybe you need to just calm down to help the person, allow the person grow to that level. Like what you said about your friend, I can relate with it because I used to be like that. I used to have this perspective that no, I should be the one that will take care of people. I should be the one that will help. It's not okay to get help. So there are certain limiting, disempowering beliefs that we grow up with. Do you understand? So you are communicating from your own point of knowledge. And she's responding from her own point of knowledge. So I think that the best thing is to give her opportunity to grow to the level that you are, because you have a higher understanding. So you have to cut her some slack, because you are also expecting her to know and to receive, because you've been exposed to that level of knowledge. So I feel that when you have communication gaps, because we have communication gaps, it's just like someone who is higher than you in certain areas, when they tell you certain things they know and you don't know the thing, there's a tendency that you will argue and argue and argue, and the person will just leave you because you will not understand, because you're not at that level. So I feel like in this case, what you should do is give the person space to grow, understand where they're coming from, right? And just give them chance to grow until they get to the level that you are. So I don't know if that answered your question. Then what if you have a spouse that doesn't want to communicate? He sees what you say as disturbance. Now, for me, what would you say? Coach Ogo, do you want to take this one before I say what I want to say? What do you have if your spouse doesn't want to communicate? I think it's there's a lot to it though, but let me give Coach Ogo, would you like to take this one before I will conclude on it? All right. I don't think she's hearing me. But let me continue. So when you have a spouse, thank you. When you have a spouse, right, that doesn't want to communicate, it's possible that you need to understand your spouse. You need to understand that I think there's more to it, right? How are you communicating that he's seeing it as a disturbance? What's his mode of communication? You know that all of us can be really, really different. We can be really different, men and women. Like some of us like to talk, especially we women, we love to talk. Like me, there's this thing I used to do. I will talk and talk. As I'm talking, if anyone I remember, we say, I remember, I'm all like, what is it? We're talking about this one. You're talking about this one. Now, you need to understand your spouse. They will have their own way of communicating. Just like I talked about the different communication styles. Some people are visual. And there's a tendency that if I'm a visual person, I would always want to talk about with visuals, you know, visual reference. So for somebody who is an auditory person, right, or somebody who is a logical person, the person is not making sense from what you are saying. Obviously, the person will see you like, well, you are disturbing me. But if the person is a logical person, that means the person is a data person. Check your husband. Listen to his communication style. Listen to the things that he talks about. Try and understand the way he communicates, the things that are important to him, so that when you want to talk, you will use his language to speak to him. He will understand it better. Oftentimes, when it comes to communication, really, what brings that shutdown is that we're not speaking each other's communication language. So the other person is totally switched off, especially those auditory people, audiovisual people. They are usually, how do I put it now? They easily get turned they easily lose it when you are not being logical with what you are saying. If you're being overly emotional, or they don't understand you, and they just go off. So you need to understand him. That's why I can't really tell you, no. I think because everyone has their communication style. So you need to understand how he communicates. Just take your time to understand his patterns. Who are the people that he really talks with that he does not feel that they are disturbing him? When they are talking, what are they talking about? Understand what they are talking about. How are they talking? Then when you want to talk to him, try and use that method and see how it goes. I don't know if that helps, Damilola. Any other question? Any other question? Okay, so in the absence of any other question, thank you everyone for listening. I think I yield the mic to Coach Ogo. Coach Ogo, are you there? All right, so any other question? Any more questions? Coach Jenny? All right, so if we don't have any other question, let me see in the comment section. What's one of the takeaways? What's something you're taking home before we close? What stood out for you in today's session? Okay, Coach Ogo is back. Okay. Coach Ogo, I yield the mic to you.
Hi. Oh, thank you so much. I've been on and off. Network has been throwing me on and off. Thank you so much. Like, it's been a wonderful, you can all agree that this has been a masterclass. You know, we've learned so much about communication. You know, the key things is that we speak is just 8% of communication, only 8%, the words that we speak. And then our body language, our tone, you know, constitute to the remaining 92%. So it tells us that communication is not just about talking. So thank you so much, Coach Christine. It's been so wonderful, and I'm happy that we have this on record. We're going to share the recording so that people that didn't join early can be able to listen again. That this thing is free does not mean that it's not valuable. See the quality of knowledge that we bring to us so that we can be able to elevate and be better. You know, I don't want to go into other examples, you know, like communication with my children and how I've, you know, just by learning this skill, I've been able to communicate with them in ways that without learning these skills, there's no way I would have communicated. I would have just been messing up because they cannot talk. And even if they can talk, they do not have the vocabulary to share the things that they want to share. So you have to be able to read that body language. You have to be able to read that silence. You have to be able to read that attitude to be able to reach them. And once you're able to read it and you reach them, once they know that they are being heard, every resistance, every people that if you have teenagers here and you're having challenges with your teenage children, they've been speaking, but you're not hearing. They are speaking every day, you're not hearing. Once you start hearing them, everything that you're seeing that you're calling a challenge, you just disappear. So that's the power of communication. Thank you, Coach Christine, and thank you everyone that joined here. And we have come to the end. Sorry, we overshot by 9 minutes. It's supposed to be like an hour, you know, presentation. So we're going to continue on this masterclass series next month. It's on the 1st of every month, 8 p.m. Just schedule it, 8 p.m. 1st of every month, whether it's on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. It's a wonderful thing that I fell into Saturday today, this month. But whatever day it is, 1st of every month, 8 p.m., we're going to have a masterclass. And next month of April, we'll have another powerful session. And I hope to see you all. God bless you. And as you come next week, invite other people. Now you see what we are hearing. Invite other people. I'm also going to share the slide so that you can also use it if you want to. Last month, we were not able to hold a masterclass, but I shared the slide so you can go over it and learn from the slide. God bless you all, and see you all next week on next month on the 1st of April. Bye now, everybody. Bye.
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 And we are going to end this call in 3, 2, 1. Good night.